Hey Chris, this is the man cave so far in progress, and this is my version of the shiplap that I'm doing on the walls right now. In the house I have it where it's just like, you know, the 6-inch strips or whatever it is, but basically it's the same kind of design. I put a slight bigger gap in between these. I use 2/4 instead of 1/4. Just because of the size of the planking. And I believe my quarter spacers are here. I just took 2/4 and wrapped them around with some blue tape. But what you're really interested in is this setup here. Yeah, so basically I have the workbench, I have the plywood, and then a couple of clamps, and with the straight edge. And so basically what I do for my skill side, I just need 1.5 inches, so I mark 1.5 inches on each side, get that where it's supposed to be and clamp it down. The straight edge is key. I tried a few different kinds. I used to have one that I used forever, but I found when I was doing long cuts that it would bow, because if you pushed in the center here, it would kind of bow out a little bit. And if you ever do have that situation, because sometimes that will happen with different materials and stuff, you can just drop a screw in here to keep on the backside to keep it from bowing out. But this straight edge is pretty good. I haven't had that problem with this straight edge. And then, you know, one less hole to fill in when you're all done. And then I picked up a new saw blade. I had my old Black & Decker ones. This is my newer one. You know, it's still a cheapo, but the key is just having a good blade. The bearings on my old one were shot, so the blade was vibrating a little bit while I was cutting. So I picked up this new one here. And this is that guide that's going to ride along. You got, you know, the main plate here, but then you also have this guide, which gives it a nice tight. Let me get it in there. Sorry, I'm doing all this one-handed. So basically, when you're running the cut, you know, it's going to look like that as you're running it down. And that guide there is what's going to help you keep it at a nice 90-degree cut. You know, instead of, you know, your hand is naturally going to want to drop, so you just kind of get a little pressure up there, and it'll run pretty good for you. What else should you know? I usually run a 3rd clamp. Let me get that for you right now so you see what I'm talking about. So since I'm usually doing all this stuff by myself, after I run a cut, so let's say, you know, that piece was still on there. So like after I cut a certain distance, I'll put this clamp on here. So now it's holding on to this piece plus the one that I'm actively cutting. You know, so it would look something like that would be in there like that. That way when I'm done with the cut, this piece isn't like drooping down and putting a lot of force. And again, the Diablo blades are really good. Ultra finish. This is a 7¼ inch blade with 60 teeth. I found that to be good rather than the 40 tooth blades. And then on the skill saw, so those are some of my other 40 tooth blades. So if you get a 60 if you can, the 40s do work. Trying to remember what else. Oh, for the cross cuts, just use a chop saw for those. Same thing, high tooth blade. The more teeth you get, the better. Ultra finish if you can. All right, I think that's about it. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.